right. So today it's Jobs Day. We have our special guest, NEC Director Brian Deese, joining us, who will give us an overview and then take some of your questions. With that, I'll turn over to Brian.
Well, I was going to say it's a sign of the progress that we're making that the last time that I came here, the briefing room was significantly less full than it is right now. So we are making progress across the board in all ways, except I guess now you guys are significantly more squished. So yeah, happy to spend a couple of minutes with you guys to just provide a little bit more context. You all heard the president discussing the employment report that we got today, so I just wanted to provide a little bit of additional context on how we are looking at that data in the context of what we've seen over the course of the last couple of weeks and the last week in particular. So obviously a strong and encouraging jobs report today, 850,000 jobs created last month. That takes us to more than 3 million jobs created since the president took office. Under the hood on that, I just want to raise a couple of issues. First is, in addition to a strong job story today, we saw a strong story about wages, wages for workers. Average hourly earnings were up 3.6% over the year. And if you take out the pandemic, some of the movements in the pandemic, we've seen the largest 3-month increase in wages on record. Records go back to 2006. And so I think what we're seeing here is a labor market where as employers are increasingly looking for employment and jobs are plentiful, they are paying higher wages and people are taking jobs at a faster clip. Good news on both fronts. The second is, as we look, there's the payroll survey and the household survey. The household survey is what feeds into the unemployment rate. A couple of things under the hood in the household survey that may be of interest to you. First is around labor force participation. We saw an increase in labor force participation among the prime age working population. So for those workers aged 25 to 54, we saw an increase. And in the pandemic, certainly because of some particularities around teenagers and also early retirements, that prime age workforce is particularly relevant, and so we keep an eye on that. The second is, if you look at the broader definitions of unemployment, which have been particularly something that we and others have followed over the course of this pandemic, one notable thing this month is a marked decline in the number of people who are working part-time for economic reasons. So this is a category that the Bureau of Labor Statistics tracks where people would like to be working more hours, but are only employed part-time. We saw a 644,000 person decline in that figure over the course of this past month. Again, a sign that those who are wanting to work more are having an opportunity to do so. I would also note that there was a slight uptick in the number of long-term unemployed. That number has come down since the president took office, but that's an issue that is a reminder that we continue to have challenges in an economy that is coming back from a historic pandemic, and we are still down more than 6 million jobs from where we started, so we still have a lot of work left to do. Third point is just to put this report in the context of a set of economic data and indices we've seen over the course of the last week in particular. It's been a heavy week for economic data, so just a couple things I wanted to flag. We saw consumer confidence come out earlier this week, and not only did we see the index increase for the 4th straight month, at very high levels now in terms of consumers' current and future sentiments about the economy, but a record level of consumers are seeing the job market as improving. So in fact, the share of consumers that say that jobs are plentiful in the economy is now at a 21-year high. So again, consistent with a strong recovering labor market here. We saw both the Congressional Budget Office and the IMF come out this week with updated growth projections. The CBO, in particular, doubled its projected growth for 2021 from 3.7% to now 7.4%. And that's if we achieve that growth in that range, it would be the highest in nearly 40 years. But also notably, the CBO not only increased its growth projections, but projected downward where unemployment will be next year, and also downwardly revised its projections for 10-year deficits. So actually, as its growth estimates increased, its projections for future deficits